Now, from the downtown of Northwest Arkansas, in Uptown Rogers, with weather from Bentonville to Fayetteville, Fort Smith, and beyond, here's Oz weather meteorologist, Garrett Lewis.
What's going on, guys? It's coming up on 6 o'clock on July 10th. And man, it's getting hot out there already, isn't it? Temperatures continue to climb. We're in the 90s. We're going to be even hotter over the next couple of days. Want to do an afternoon and evening update to kind of show you what's going on and take a little bit of a deeper dive into the big pattern that's unfolding here for the next few days. So right now, here's what it looks like. This is looking south from Walton. A lot of heavy traffic up and down I-49 this evening, but you'll notice those puffy cumulus clouds. Now, you won't see them on the camera here on the RDOT cam, but there are those cumulus clouds which are out there today and making for just a little bit of clouds here and there, but I haven't seen much in the way of showers. Not really anything popping up. I think we may have had one or two early on in the day that developed in parts of the Ozark, but for the most part we'll stay dry. It's rinse, wash, and repeat for this pattern for the next several days, so I doubt many of us will get a lot of rain, but if you do get a shower, consider yourself blessed. It'll be nice to get a nice little pop-up shower. So this is the satellite picture, and this is the visible satellite, what's going on. You can see those cumulus clouds that are out there in northern Arkansas. These are what give way to the pop-up showers. The upper-level winds are the storms, sorry, not the storms, but the clouds that are moving in this direction, the ones that are nearly stationary. Those are cumulus. These are high-level cirrus clouds that are moving through. If we zoom on out, though, there's really not much going on. We actually have an area of high pressure, which is located just to our southwest, and then there's this boundary to the north, which is dropping south. That's going to be no factor for us, but it's a nice little complex out there in northern Missouri. As long as the high's there, though, the high is hot. I mean, it's summer, it's middle of July. It's not like it's a surprise to any of us, but it was nice to have a little reprieve and a little break with the rains from the leftover Hurricane Beryl, which moved across the area. Right now, 91 in Fayetteville. We are cooking. 95 in Fort Smith. Let me see if I can turn on the heat. That is the heat index. Sorry. So that's not the actual temperature. The heat index is in the low to mid 90s. And when I look at it like that, it's actually not that bad. Current temperature is 88 in Fayetteville and 87 in Rogers. It's 93 in Fort Smith. So that's the temperature. That's the heat index. There's not a huge spread right now, but there will be a bigger spread late week and into the weekend. I'm thinking by Friday, Saturday, we're looking at a heat index closing on a 110 again. So it is going to be pretty spicy again. Zooming on out, you can see that complex to the north. These little mesoscale complexes are pretty common. The damaging wind risk is always on the leading edge. And again, this is northern Missouri. This is no factor for us, but we do have that possibility of getting some complexes in later on in the forecast. Unfortunately, not anytime soon because of our fair weather friend, Mr. High Pressure. It's front and center, isn't it? This is the surface chart for this evening. You can see the rain showers to the north and that front that moved through, stalling down around the south and around the Gulf, and the remnants of that tropical system pulling across parts of the northeast now. I mentioned this earlier today, but the overall trend is going to be for warming temperatures here for the next several days as temperatures climb up into the low and the mid 70s and low and mid 90s for us. And the heat index could climb as high as 110 or even 111 by the time we get into that Friday, Saturday time frame. So it was a decent day today. Highs hovered around 90 or so. Tomorrow, low 90s, mid 90s by the weekend, and then upper 90s by the time Monday rolls around. So let's look at the pattern. What is going on? First, let's look at, I've got rain loaded first. I think I want to look at upper level winds first. So this is the jet stream. If you're getting a commercial jet, fly 40,000 feet up above the surface, this is what you'd be dealing with. And if you're going from Arkansas to New York, you'd make good time because you have that tailwind. So let's take a look at what happens through time. And what I'm looking for are little kinks in the jet stream, like what you see across the Great Lakes, or those blue colors, which also indicate some stronger wind speeds. That often contributes to wind shear. So as I jog through here, I don't see a whole lot of difference. Notice this long range trough here that goes from the Great Lakes through Missouri and through Texas. This is why I think we get those pop-up showers through the rest of the week. Not everybody's going to see rain, but this chart is actually Thursday evening, and you can see still that trough's in the area. So jogging on through, the trough stays there. It's there through at least Saturday and into Sunday. Not much change at all. Notice this little ripple right there. That's Sunday at about 6, 7 in the morning. I may squeeze out a shower or two. It's a little weak front. You can see north winds behind that boundary and then west winds ahead of it. So there's a little front there. So there may be a chance of a spotty shower or two Sunday. And then moving into next week, not much, guys. This little, the darker blue colors that you see to the north here, may try to push a weak front on the backside of that thing across Kansas City and St. Louis. That looks like it would be Wednesday the 17th. That's a ways. It's the 10th right now. It's a week out. But there may be some change in there about a week out or so. And looks like there's a low down to the south too that could be causing some trouble. Right in here, that could be something tropical to watch as we move through time. So rain chances. Let's start with today and let's just jog through time here. What I just wanted you to focus in on here was the pop-up nature of this stuff. See little green specks over Arkansas. There's nothing really organized that's going to move through. We'll have some spotty showers here and there. They're daytime heating driven. They're gone once daytime heating collapses, and there's really no widespread rain chances in the forecast. That weak boundary that I mentioned around the 17th, right here, may drive a weak front right there in maybe Thursday night, about a week out. Not really. I see a lot of tropical moisture and pop-up daytime heating showers, but I think it's going to be hard pressed to really get any kind of big rain going here for at least the next week. So hopefully you're able to pick up some rainfall totals with that last rain event that moved through, which was the hurricane or the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. What I also thought was interesting, though, when I was looking at the weather charts this morning and the NESDA satellite, is the amount of dust coming from Africa. There's like 180 million tons of dust that comes off the desert, gets dumped into the ocean, and a lot of it actually gets airborne and pushed into America and eventually Arkansas. So I noticed a lot of Saharan dust out there. So this dust gets in the atmosphere, and the atmosphere, the water tries to condense on it, and it just screws up the hurricane development. So I think hurricanes are going to be limited here across the Atlantic for at least the next week or so. And I think once that dust gets into America, what it does is limits cloud cover. That also increases temperatures. So I think we are probably going to be in for some pretty hot weather late weekend into early next week, talking right around 100 with a heat index near 110, due in part to the high pressure, but also due in part to some of that dust that's blown in. Also makes for some pretty orange and red fiery sunsets sometime around the middle of next week. But overall, it just doesn't look like we have a whole lot to talk about as far as the weather goes here for the next several days. Temperatures where you live are probably going to be holding close to the 90s, but you will notice that heat index start to creep on up here in the next couple of days. Hey, a few announcements. Working on going to be with the Fort Smith Marshals next, I think it's Thursday. We're doing a weather night, and the Twisters movie premiere is coming out by the end of next week. Also planning a Rogers Rail Yard ride. We're going to be raising money for school supplies for the kids that were affected by the tornado. We'll have a sign-up sheet listed soon. I'm going to be listing it here on this website. We've partnered with Fitness One, Malco Theaters, the Rogers Chamber of Commerce, as well as KNWA. My good friend Dan Scoff over there, he's going to be working on this too. So we're going to try to raise some funds through selling T-shirts for the kids that were affected by the tornado. We've got a list of some of the supplies that the Rogers School District says they need, and we'll try to fill that need. That's coming up, by the way, August 3rd at 7:30 in the morning. So it's not going to be the middle of the afternoon. It'll be 7:30 in the morning. The rail yard ride's about an hour and a half. It'll be a family event. I'll fill you more in on that as it gets a little bit closer and we get everything finalized. Meantime, everything looks pretty good, but very hot heading through the next couple of days. Make it a great evening.